energy and pushing hard. Let's see how Wayne Midden handles it.
The adrenaline is pumping. Sean Olivier is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. It looks like JP Brand is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
JP Brand has completed their out lap. You can feel the tension building. Mark Guy is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
This is where the mental game comes into play. William Theron is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if William Theron can deliver.
William Theron crosses the start-finish line at the end of their out lap. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Jano van der Westhuizen is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. The adrenaline is pumping. Melvin Gauss is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
Patience is key in these early moments, Mark. But I have a feeling Melvin Gauss is going to make it count.
As Melvin Gauss completes their out lap, they will be HPOING. They have given themselves enough space on track to fully attack for their first flying lap. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Wayne Midden is on their out lap.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
That's the out lap done for Wayne Midden. They'll now look to focus on their first flying lap. Wow, look at Chantal de Jager go. They're really turning on the jets in this qualifying session. It looks like William Theron is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Melvin Gauss is rising to the occasion. I don't know about you, but I think Sean Olivier might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast.
Is it just me or does it feel like we're watching a superhero in action here?
Sean Olivier is absolutely smashing it. Sean Olivier will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
JP Brand is on their first flying lap. JP Brand has just completed a lap in 1:47.165. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. Someone call the fire department because Sean Olivier is setting this track on fire with their performance. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Jano van der Westhuizen going at lightning speed.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do, right Mark? Jano van der Westhuizen is just showing us all what they're made of.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Looks like Sean Olivier is channeling their inner Schumacher today. They're absolutely flying out there.
I think we might need to start calling Sean Olivier the Flash after that incredible lap time. What do you think, Mark?
Woohoo! Melvin Gauss is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching them go.
Well Mark, it seems like Melvin Gauss has got the need for speed and nothing is going to stop them now.
I don't know about you, but I think Sean Olivier might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast.
Looks like Sean Olivier is really cooking with gas out there today.
Time to bring out the marshmallows and let's toast some fuel. Sean Olivier will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
Someone call the fire department because Melvin Gauss is setting this track on fire with their performance. Melvin Gauss will be happy having put themselves into second in this qualifying session. Looks like Wayne Midden is channeling their inner Schumacher today. They're absolutely flying out there. Sean Olivier is not as quick as they were hoping for. They're going to need to dig deep and find some extra pace on this next one if they want to move up the grid. Michelle Rust looks to be off the pace. Annie, what do you think they need to do to improve?
Well, Mark, they'll need to find those extra tenths of a second by pushing just a little bit harder on the braking and carrying more speed through the corners.
Michelle Rust has some work to do as that 147.205 is only good enough for 7th. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Jano van der Westhuizen will be happy having put themselves into 3rd in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
A solid performance from JP Brand as they currently hold position 5. However, with the session coming to a close, they'll need to find that extra bit of speed if they want to move up the grid. JP Brand will be happy having put themselves into 5th in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
And there goes Jano van der Westhuizen, currently in position 3. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result. Hanko Callahan has put in a great effort and currently holds 9th. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position? Hanko Callahan has some work to do as that 147.830 is only good enough for 8th. Incredible drive by Jano van der Westhuizen so far, earning them 2nd on the grid. However, the competition is fierce. Will they be able to find that extra edge to move up?
Absolutely, Mark. Jano van der Westhuizen has shown great potential to secure 2nd. It's now a matter of channeling that momentum into a strong performance during the race.
JP Brand has positioned themselves well in 5th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
Spot on analysis, Mark. JP Brand has positioned themselves well in 5th. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race. The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Starting from pole position is the best possible outcome for Sean Olivier. As the green flag drops, keep an eye on Jano van der Westhuizen starting in second position.
What can they do with that Volkswagen up from here?
Starting from the third position on the grid, we have Melvin Gauss. We see Marc Guy sitting in the fourth spot. It's JP Brand, sitting comfortably in fifth.
Another good start for the South African driver.
The green flag is out and the drivers are off. This is what it's all about, Annie.
The first lap can be chaotic, and avoiding any major incidents is key. Drivers need to be alert and ready to react to any sudden changes on the track.
Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here. There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is looking to get off to a good start.
It all comes down to this mark, where the rubber meets the road. There's no more time for talk, no more practice. The teams have done all they can. Now it comes down to Marc Guy to bring it home.
William Theron must have had a rocket under their seat, because they've shot off the line like a missile.
Talk about hitting the ground running. But, as we know, it's not how you start but how you finish that counts.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position?
There are a few drivers with a point to prove, and a few with some grudges to bear. Will we see a clean race today?
These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race.
What a beautiful day for racing here at Phakisa Freeway Grand Prix Circuit. This is going to be good to watch.
Marc Guy wants to find a way round Wayne Midden.
There is no room for error in this battle.
Things are getting spicy now, as JP Brand and Wayne Midden look to battle it out for third place. And Wayne Midden is having to make that Volkswagen up as wide as possible to try and keep Marc Guy behind them.
This is a tight race and Wayne Midden is doing a great job of holding them off. It will be interesting to see if Marc Guy can make a move.
Things are heating up as Marc Guy tries to close the gap to Wayne Midden. Things don't seem to be going Sean Weber's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from William Theron.
It's a game of inches now as Marc Guy tails JP Brand closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. Every move counts now as JP Brand works to reel in Wayne Midden and overtake for P3.
Will JP Brand be able to make a move and pass Wayne Midden?
The pressure is on for Marc Guy as they try to catch up to JP Brand. No room for error here. JP Brand is breathing down the neck of Wayne Midden, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
With the way JP Brand is stalking Wayne Midden, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
The race is heating up as Mark Guy in 5th closes in on JP Brand. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Hold on to your hats, folks. JP Brand is right on the heels of Wayne Midden, and we're in for a wild ride.
The only thing closer than JP Brand to Wayne Midden right now is the paint on their cars. Talk about a close encounter.
A solid performance from Sean Olivier, who is holding down first. It's all about consistency for Jano van der Westhuizen, who is currently second.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
The action is heating up here as Wayne Midden is in 3rd, defending from Mark Guy, who is only 0.3 seconds away.
Wayne Midden is doing a great job of defending in the lead, and Mark Guy is pushing hard to close the gap. It's an exciting race and it's not over yet.
It looks like Sean Weber is pushing hard to catch up to William Theron. The gap is over a second, but Sean Weber is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on William Theron?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Sean Weber in 8th determined to catch up. But we know William Theron isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Sean Weber is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
And Sean Weber has just won the place from William Theron.
Absolutely. Sean Weber is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There are still plenty of challenges ahead.
Hold your breath, folks. These drivers are showing exceptional car control, threading the needle through tight corners. It's a battle for supremacy.
No doubt about it, Mark. The battle for supremacy between these drivers is fierce. The way they navigate through those tight corners is a testament to their skill and determination.
Incredible. Mark Guy is caught in a fierce battle, with JP Brand breathing down their neck 0.2 seconds away, and Wayne Midden just ahead with a gap of 0.1 seconds. It's a test of their racing skills. Oh, things are getting intense for Mark Guy. They're sandwiched between JP Brand and Wayne Midden, navigating this high-speed battleground. The gap to the car ahead is 0.1 seconds, while the car behind is only 0.2 seconds away. It looks like Mark Guy is in control. They're ahead of Braking alert. Mark Guy is in the pits. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Mark Guy is pitting. Even though JP Brand is a fair way behind Mark Guy, they can't afford to let their guard down. Mark Guy is still vulnerable to mistakes.
That's right, and JP Brand knows that they have to keep pushing hard and driving their own race.
Braking development. I don't think that's the fastest way around Pakisa Freeway Grand Prix circuit. Sean Olivier is placed first at the moment.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Sean Olivier has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. JP Brand will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. The gap between Sean Olivier and Jano van der Westhuizen is pretty substantial right now. It's breaking news, folks. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race, they'd been looking at a decent result.
Looks like Sean Olivier is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
Things are going according to plan for Jano van der Westhuizen, who is currently first. Wayne Midden is placed second at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Mark Guy, who is 0.8 seconds behind.
Absolutely, and on the other side of the equation, Mark Guy can't afford to let up. They have to drive with intensity and focus, and wait for any opportunity to arise.
This is a thrilling battle as Mark Guy edges closer to Wayne. Hold up, breaking info. It looks like Mark Guy has been called into the pits. It may seem like JP Brand is far behind, but Mark Guy can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give JP Brand an opening to catch up. Oh, this is getting intense. William Theron is just a few car lengths behind Mike Ramsey.
The mental game is just as important here. William Theron must keep their cool while putting pressure on Mike Ramsey.
The race is really heating up. Sean Olivier is hunting down Hank O'Callaghan with everything they've got.
Can Sean Olivier close the 0.3 second gap and make a pass?
An impressive showing from Sean Olivier, who has gained positions and left Hank O'Callaghan in the dust.
Where there's a will, there's a relative.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Mark Guy is chasing Wayne Midden in P2. It's game on now. Mark Guy has closed the gap to Wayne Midden. It's now down to 0.1 seconds.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
JP Brand has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Mark Guy the first. Expect their only hope at this point is that Mark Guy makes an error. It seems like JP Brand is pushing. They're on for recording their best lap so far this race.
Can JP Brand keep it together?
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. It seems like Wayne Midden is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with JP Brand trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Wayne Midden. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can JP Brand close in enough to mount a challenge? It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Sean Olivier, who is currently in P5. But JP Brand is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Sean Olivier. It's a battle of wills out there, with Hank O'Callaghan trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Sean Olivier. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race? It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Sean Weber, as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
A strong showing from Mike Ramsey, who is currently 8th.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
The tension is building as William Theron trails behind Mike Ramsey. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Mike Ramsey hold on, or will William Theron be able to close them down? A solid performance from Chantal de Jager, who is holding down 10th.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
Chantal de Jager has decided to pit. It's all about, hold on a moment. Chantal de Jager has pulled into the pits. It's looking good for Chantal de Jager, sitting in 10th.
Definitely, Mark, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
The crowd is on tender hooks as Wayne Midden in third chases after Mark Guy. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Wayne Midden find a way to catch up? It looks like we might get a battle between Wayne Midden and Mark Guy. Jano van der Westhuizen is placed first at the moment. A strong showing from Mark Guy, who is currently second.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Mark Guy has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
The race is heating up as Wayne Midden in third closes in on Mark Guy. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight.
It's going to be tough for Wayne Midden, as Mark Guy seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Wayne Midden pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
While JP Brand is not under immediate threat from Sean Olivier, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. He can't hold on. JP Brand is losing time to Sean Olivier.
This is where the mental strength of JP Brand comes into play. They need to stay calm and composed under pressure.
Hey, Annie, you've had your fair share of races with little action. How did you handle the situation back in your racing days?
Well, Mark, patience is key in such scenarios. You need to stay focused and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes your way. It's like a game of chess at 200 miles per hour.
Oh, this is getting intense. Sean Olivier is just behind JP Brand. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Sean Olivier gaining places and JP Brand losing them. Oh my, Mike Ramsey has had an incident.
Mike Ramsey is not going to be happy about that.
The gap between Sean Olivier and JP Brand may be wide, but that doesn't mean Sean Olivier is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away.
Hold up, breaking info. Looks like that's a mistake from Chantal de Jager. This could be costly.
Whoops, Chantal de Jager is going to be kicking themselves.
Things are going according to plan for Michel Rust, who is currently 10th.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
It looks like JP Brand is pushing hard to catch up to Sean Olivier. The gap is over a second, but JP Brand is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Sean Olivier?
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Sean Olivier is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with JP Brand in P5 doing everything they can to catch up.
A solid performance from Jano van der Westhuizen, who is holding down first. It's all about consistency for Mark Guy, who is currently second.
That's right, they can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
The gap between Wayne Midden in third and Mark Guy remains over a second, but Wayne Midden is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 0 minutes?
Indeed, the tension is high as Wayne Midden tries to reel in Mark Guy. But Mark Guy is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Can Wayne Midden find some extra pace to bring the fight to Mark Guy?
Even though JP Brand is a fair way behind Sean Olivier, they can't afford to let their guard down. Sean Olivier is still vulnerable to mistakes.
Absolutely right. Mark and JP Brand knows that too. They have to keep driving at their best if they want to take advantage of any opportunity that comes their way.
It's looking good for Hank O'Callaghan, sitting in 6th. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Sean Weber, who is currently in P7. But Hank O'Callaghan is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Sean Weber. It's a battle of wills out there, with Sean Olivier trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Wayne Midden. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
Absolutely. Sean Olivier in 4th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Breaking update. I don't think that's the fastest way around Pakisa Freeway Grand Prix circuit.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 11 kph out there right now.
Things don't seem to be going Mark Guy's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here. This is getting exciting. Can Wayne Midden pull off a late charge and gain a position? Sean Olivier is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Can Sean Olivier keep it together?
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Sean Weber trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Hank O'Callaghan. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Sean Weber close in enough to mount a challenge? Wayne Midden is running third. They are trying to catch Sean Olivier. It's looking good for Wayne Midden, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Sean Olivier.
Yes, but Wayne Midden can't rest on their laurels. They have to keep pushing to consolidate their position.
Tough break for Wayne Midden, who has just lost a position.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Wayne Midden needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
Wayne Midden is on fire in the last sector. Jano van der Westhuizen is placed first at the moment. It's all over. Jano van der Westhuizen has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now. What a drive from JP Brand, securing a great second-place finish. Excellent focus from Wayne Midden to secure a fantastic third place on the podium.
Great job bringing it home.
Sean Olivier, Mark Guy, Sean Weber, and Hank O'Callaghan claim 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. In 8th, it's Mike Ramsey. Finishing 9th and 10th is William Theron and Michelle Rust. followed by Chantal de Jager in 11th. It's a beautifully calm day here at Pakisa Freeway Grand Prix Circuit, as we're getting ready to kick things off. Chantal de Jager will have the best seat in the house starting from pole position. Watch out for Michelle Rust, starting from the second grid position in today's race.
Michelle Rust will be ready to show what they're made of.
And in third place, we have William Theron. And in the fourth position, it's none other than Mike Ramsey. Hank O'Callaghan is fifth.
I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Hank O'Callaghan can do from here.
On the sixth grid slot we have Sean Weber. The starting flag has been waved, and the battle on the track begins. The opening lap is always intense, with drivers vying for an early advantage.
These first moments can set the tone for the rest of the race. It's all about keeping a clear head and making smart decisions.
As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at SRA for making this all possible. Heroes one and all. All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up.
The first lap can always be a bit of a bun fight as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
Having started in 10, JP Brand will be looking to establish themselves in this race. The drivers are jockeying for position. William Theron will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position.
Let's hope they all brought their A games today.
I don't know what they had for breakfast, but it seems like Sean Olivier found the secret sauce for a fantastic start. Good news for Sean Olivier, the gap to Michel Rust has decreased. It's now down to 0.1 seconds.
That's a great effort from Sean Olivier. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
The adrenaline is pumping as Sean Olivier gets within striking distance of Michel Rust in their race for first.
They say rubbing is racing, but if Sean Olivier gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
A great pass for Sean Olivier as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Michel Rust has lost ground. Jano van der Westhuizen is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
The gap between Jano van der Westhuizen and Wayne Midden is getting smaller. This is what it's all about, folks. Michel Rust is in hot pursuit of Sean Olivier, who's just trying to stay ahead. Wayne Midden is looking to take advantage of that arrow as they get in range of Jano van der Westhuizen. That's gonna give them the pull they need to mount a challenge very soon. Excellent work from Jano van der Westhuizen, who has managed to increase their lead over Wayne Midden. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it.
Yes, it's clear that Jano van der Westhuizen is in control out there. They're making it very difficult for Wayne Midden to catch up.
The battle for 3 is heating up as Wayne Midden tries to catch Jano van der Westhuizen in P3. This is going to be a nail-biter. Sean Weber is defending for their life, but JP Brand is right there. Can they do it? It seems like Sean Weber is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as JP Brand's. It's all eyes on this battle as Chantal de Jager in 8th tries to hold off the challenge of William Theron.
This could be where William Theron is gonna dive up the inside. Chantal de Jager is going to need to cover the inside and that will compromise their exit speed.
A setback for Chantal de Jager, who has just been passed. Braking alert. That won't be ideal for Sean Olivier. This is where the race gets really interesting. William Theron is closing in on Hank O'Callaghan. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. It's not going to plan for Jano van der Westhuizen. They are still behind Michel Rust and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now.
It's not ideal for Jano van der Westhuizen, but they can still turn this around. They need to focus on their own driving and not let the gap get any bigger.
Big gains for Jano van der Westhuizen as they move up the field, leaving Michel Rust behind.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
Michel Rust is giving it their all as they chase down Jano van der Westhuizen in P2. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. An impressive showing from Chantal de Jager, who has gained positions and left. Wait! Oh my, William Theron has had an incident.
Pakisa Freeway Grand Prix circuit is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Michel Rust is breathing down the neck of Jano van der Westhuizen, not giving them any room to relax.
If Michel Rust pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
Michel Rust has got their head down now, working those exits and apexes and setting their best lap time so far with a 1 minute.
Can Michel Rust keep improving?
The crowd is on tender hooks as Sean Weber in 6th chases after JP Brand. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Sean Weber find a way to catch up?
This is where experience comes into play. JP Brand has been in this position before and knows how to defend their position. But Sean Weber is hungry for success and won't give up easily. Will we see a clash of the titans?
It's a close race between Michel Rust and Jano van der Westhuizen in second. The gap between Michel Rust and Jano van der Westhuizen is growing. It's now up to 0.4 seconds. The intensity is off the charts as Michel Rust hounds Jano van der Westhuizen, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. The gap between Michel Rust and Jano van der Westhuizen is widening. It's now up to 0.4 seconds. The pursuit is on. Michel Rust is closing the gap on Jano van der Westhuizen, determined to claim P2.
This is where every inch counts. Michel Rust is pushing hard to close the gap on Jano van der Westhuizen. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
Things are heating up as JP Brand tries to close the gap to Wayne Mitten.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. JP Brand needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
The race is heating up as William Theron in 10th closes in on Mike Ramsey. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. While it doesn't look like Mike Ramsey is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Chantal de Jager. A strong showing from Chantal de Jager, who is currently 8th. This is a thrilling battle as JP Brand edges closer to Wayne Mitten in their fight for P4. It seems like JP Brand is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race.
Can JP Brand keep it together?
Fantastic move from JP Brand, who has just gained a position. It's going to be tough. JP Brand is a master at defending their position. Is there enough time for Wayne Mitten to make a move? They're going to be even more determined to hold on to that position.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Wayne Mitten to make up that gap, especially with JP Brand defending so well.
The tension is building as Michelle Rust trails behind Jano van der Westhuizen. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Jano van der Westhuizen hold on, or will Michelle Rust be able to close them down? Things are heating up as Wayne Mitten closes in on Sean Weber. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
Should things go awry, Wayne Mitten and Sean Weber might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
It's not looking good for Wayne Mitten. They are still behind Sean Weber and the gap is increasing. They are gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around.
Wayne Mitten needs to pick up the pace for sure, but I don't think they have it in them.
We are used to seeing some hard-fought but clean racing here at SRA. I'm expecting to see nothing different here today as this race unfolds. A solid performance from Sean Olivier, who is holding down first. It's all about consistency for Jano van der Westhuizen, who is currently second. The gap between Jano van der Westhuizen and Michelle Rust is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Jano van der Westhuizen to even allow Michelle Rust to get a look in.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon unless it's down to a mistake from Jano van der Westhuizen.
Things are going according to plan for JP Brand, who is currently 4th. The gap between Wayne Mitten and Sean Weber is razor thin as they vie for 5th in this nail-biting contest.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
A brilliant maneuver from Wayne Mitten, who has just moved up the field. It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. Sean Weber is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they're 0.75 seconds down.
Can Sean Webber refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of?
Every move counts now as Sean Webber works to reel in Wayne Midden and overtake for P5. Sean Webber needs to get more consistent. Annie, they have just put in a slower lap than Wayne Midden. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Michel Rust will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
It's going to be tough for Michel Rust, as Jano van der Westhuizen seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen Michel Rust pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory?
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them the race.
Sean Olivier is placed first at the moment.
Absolutely, and they need to keep driving with determination to stay in that position.
The gap between Jano van der Westhuizen and Michel Rust is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Jano van der Westhuizen to bring Michel Rust into play.
That's very true, and Michel Rust knows that as well. They have to drive their own race and wait for Jano van der Westhuizen to make a mistake, if they want to have any chance of overtaking.
It's looking good for JP Brand, sitting in fourth.
Definitely, but they can't get to.
Hold on a second. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. A solid performance from JP Brand, who is holding down fourth. The pressure is on for Sean Webber as they try to catch up to Wayne Midden.
Who will be able to maintain their pace and come out on top?
Sean Webber is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Can Sean Webber keep it together?
During your racing career, Annie, how did you determine when it was the right time to pit for fresh tires due to tire degradation?
It was a combination of factors, Mark. Monitoring lap times, communicating with the team about tire wear, and assessing the car's handling were all crucial in deciding when to make a pit stop for fresh tires.
Look at that. Sean Webber is hot on the tail of Wayne Midden.
I think they are going to take them.
Looking at the lap times, Sean Webber is not on pace with Wayne Midden. Can they turn it around? Chantal de Jager has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Hanko Callahan. I expect their only hope at this point is that Hanko Callahan makes an error. The race is really heating up. Sean Webber is hunting down Wayne Midden with everything they've got. Wayne Midden is placed fifth at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Sean Webber, who is 0.5 seconds behind. Three cars in perfect formation, creating a moving train on the circuit. They're using the slipstream to gain an advantage, but who will make the decisive move? The gap between Sean Webber in sixth and Wayne Midden remains over a second, but Sean Webber is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 0 minutes?
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Sean Webber in 6th determined to catch up. But we know Wayne Midden isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Sean Webber is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
A strong showing from Sean Olivier, who is currently first.
Definitely, Mark, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
It's all about consistency for Jano van der Westhuizen, who is currently second.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Things don't seem to be going Michel Rust's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
JP Brand is in 4th, and is being closely chased by Wayne Midden, who is just 0.2 seconds behind. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
And Wayne Midden has just won the place from JP Brand.
Yes, but they have to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over, and anything can happen. Wayne Midden needs to stay focused and keep driving with skill and determination.
JP Brand is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
The leader has just finished the race. A fantastic result for Sean Olivier.
You could feel the tension building throughout the race, but Sean Olivier remained focused and in control. That's what separates the winners from the pack.
Jano van der Westhuizen never gave up. They drove with heart and determination, ultimately securing a well-deserved second-place finish.
Strong work securing second place. Well done.
What a race from Michel Rust. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium.
Fantastic result.
Coming in 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th we have Wayne Midden, JP Brand, Sean Webber, and Hank O'Callaghan. Taking 8th is Chantal de Jager. With William Theron in 9th. William Theron is pitting.